Hello there. Welcome to the full moon in Scorpio. And it's a dark and stormy night right now. Perfect kind of mood for a Scorpio moon. Full moon looks quite nice out there. It's not completely full. It's a couple days in advance, but it's almost there. And it looked quite mystical on the way on my walk by the river. Yes. So we've had a lot of intense planetary stuff just back to back. We had an eclipse, a lunar eclipse on March 25th. We've had Mercury retrograde going on. We've had solar eclipse, which was such an exciting high. And then there was sort of fallout from that. People really emotional or achy or tired or whatever we were. And then we had conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus on the 20th. Pretty big deal as well, because that only happens the conjunction happens every 14 years, maybe. Last one was 14 years ago. And the last time we had a conjunction like that conjunction in Taurus would have been 83 years ago. So it's a big deal. You might be feeling that now as we come into the full moon. And the full moon in Scorpio Taurus is usually pretty intense just on its own, let alone all the rest of the stuff. So needless to say, we're in times of immense transformation. And we're going to take a look at the chart and we'll try to make a little sense of what that might be like for you. All right, let's take a look. Oh, pardon me. Before I start, I'd like to say I would love it if you would join my intuition community. This has been my underlying goal for many, many years, is to build a community of spiritual and intuitive people. And so I have my group, the Intuition Cafe, on Facebook, and it's free. And then I have events. And so you can just go to the link down below, or you can find me, Intuition Cafe, Clairvoyant Medium Catherine Allen, you'll see it. And you can come to our events. We have one, if you're in the Montreal area, we have one coming up on Friday, the 26th of April. And it's a meetup. It's a bit of socializing. It's a bit of practicing. It's a chance to talk about your intuitive life, your spiritual concerns, your talk about stuff you normally can't talk about with people, weird things that are happening to you. I don't know. Any parallels, any weird signs, weird dreams, anything you normally wouldn't talk about at work or with conservative people, you can talk about at Intuition Cafe. And then we do a little bit of development as well. And I bring along my book. I might read from my book, my guide and exercise. I make sure that everybody, gets a pretty equal chance to share, even in the socializing. So, yeah, if you want to meet some like-minded people, come out the door, come out to Chapters Indigo in Point Claire, near Fairview Mall, if you're in the Montreal area, on Friday the 26th. All right, let's take a look at this chart. All right. So, as we've seen so many charts, if you follow me, take a look at this configuration. It's so different. When we saw the configuration for the total solar eclipse 2 weeks ago, remember, everything was all clustered here, everything. And then maybe one lone thing over here. Now look at this, completely different aspect, completely different part of the chart, still all clustered in, and opposition from, of course, the moon and the south node. Bit of opposition from Pluto, otherwise it's all clustered again. So when things are all clustered, as they are here in Aries and into Taurus, but all these planets on top of each other here, we call that a stellium, and it just super emphasizes that energy, and it's still in that warrior, courageous, risk-taking, impulsive, blunt, you know, truth, brutally honest is what a lot of Aries will say. Upbeat, rah, 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 cheerleader or football captain kind of vibe. And also like pioneering, like go off and start your own thing. Just dive in, jump off the deck, go for it. Don't think about it too much. And then there's the I didn't think about it too much side of it, impulsive, don't know your limits, don't understand other people's feelings sometimes, just like barreling through there. Best aspect, of course, is the warrior, courageous side. And that's all lining up here in the 6th house, which is the house of health, service, extended family, so cousins, grandparents, aunts, uncles. Sometimes our pets can show up in the 6th house because it's like quote unquote secondary relationships versus like, romantic house is here in the 7th. So we'll talk about that because Jupiter Uranus is hanging out in the 7th house of partnerships or open enemies. 5th house, a couple planets here that talks about dating and romance more. If we were over here in the 11th, that's like social communities and groups. If we were in the 3rd, well, Pluto's there in the 3rd. That can be your communities, but it can also be your siblings. And down here in the 4th, that's usually where we see the mom and dad, or in the 10th, we can see your mom and dad. So there's quite a cluster in this sector here of like aunts, uncles, grandparents, pets, second cousins, that kind of thing. So just food for thought. Are you thinking of them? Are you in touch with them? Is something happening with them? Otherwise, we'll apply it more to our health. So a bunch of Aries planets talking about your health. You're talking about the head. Aries rules the head, and sometimes maybe the blood. And so are you having issues with your head? Eyes, throat, ears, headaches, migraines, pressure, anxiety, anything where your head is spinning, aching, or reacting. There's usually a buildup of pressure on yourself. If your head is related to your health, headaches for sure, sinus blockages. One poor friend of mine has terrible nosebleeds right now. So that would be an unfortunate side of Aries with health, because it's the head and the blood and the sinuses are having a problem. So you could be seeing issues with those things when it comes to Aries. Also, I suppose it could reflect allergy season, but we wouldn't get this many planets every year there at this time. Like the sun will be there into Taurus, maybe Mercury would be close by, but we don't always have the North Node. We don't always have Chiron and Venus all in Aries as well. So, yeah, there could be stuff related to that area of the body going on. But the main thing here is our full moon. And that full moon is in Scorpio, and the chart here, if we're in the Eastern time zone, in the Eastern time zone is Scorpio rising. And that moon is right there on the ascendant. So this is really interesting. And I'll tell you why. I'm just burning my sage. Cleansing before I go into this big topic here. All right, so why is it interesting? Well, the moon on the rising sign, okay, it's in the 12th house, but it's, see, 2 degrees away. So it's on the ascendant. People with the moon on the ascendant can't hide how they feel. Their emotions, everybody can tell. Everybody can read them like a book. They can't suppress it. They're angry, they're sad, everyone sees it. No, you can't hide it. Scorpio doesn't want that. Doesn't want to be seen. Doesn't want it obvious. Wants to control what you see. Oops. So a Scorpio moon is extremely private. Extremely private. Very secretive. Very deep. Very deep. Very psychic. Very vulnerable, but at the same time with an edge. You do not screw with the Scorpio moon. They will understand you psychologically, and they will get you back somehow. Now, this is on the rising sign, where it does not like to be. So if you take somebody who hates to be seen, does not want to be read, does not want people to know how they feel, wants to be in control, and you put that right there on the sleeve for everyone to see, what do you think you're going to get? You're going to get a very uncomfortable person. You're going to bring out the extremes in their nature because they feel more exposed. So the extremes of a Scorpio moon that you could see, on the worst side of it, like I said, the revenge, the secrecy, the gaslighting, the I'll get you back kind of thing, the grudge holding, or you could get the most profound, mystical, spiritual, deep, soul to soul kind of conversation you've ever had. It really depends who you're with when it happens. So this is an interesting when it comes to what's going on, in our lives, and also in the bigger picture with information coming out, with public trials that we know are going on, with who's going to feel suddenly exposed, and are we going to see the good side or the bad side? Now, as you can see, as usual, the sun and the moon are completely opposite in a full moon. The sun is in Taurus, so there's an opposition. So what are we going to see? We're going to see oppositional energy. Unfortunately, there's nothing supporting the Scorpio moon. No planets or blue lines towards that moon. Nothing is supporting it. It's standing by itself. Eek, even more vulnerable, right? And on top of that, it has to be opposed by the sun and squared by Pluto. Oh boy, it is not a time, okay? This is not the time to call people out on this full moon. This could be very explosive emotionally. If you are needing or wanting to expose someone or something, country, organization, a person, an ex, I don't care, a landlord, well, this could work in your favor. This is like, this Scorpio moon is just so uncomfortable being out there. It's sort of like, if somebody was standing there buck naked in front of all their enemies going, trying to defend itself, and it cannot hide. So the best way to handle it, if that ends up being you in the hot seat, is to go, you're absolutely right. Here I am. I'm naked. Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly who I am. That's exactly what's going on. Yes. Exposed. You've outed me. Good. Let's work on it. That would be the ultimate best way for this energy to be transformative in a good way, would be like secret comes out, taboo is exposed. hidden feelings revealed, whatever it is, hidden motives unearthed, and everyone goes, oh my God, no, that's actually true. Okay, how do we heal this? Well, then there's enormous transformation that happens, but we all know that's less likely. What's more likely is retaliation, more subterfuge, a deeper gaslight to cover the thing that's been exposed. So this is why I'm saying, unless you really need to out somebody or something, don't right now. The energy's, it's too defensive. It's too hostile. It's not a great time. And, you know, with all this stuff with health, with all these Aries planets and sixth house, I would hate to see somebody have like a health crisis related to your head, because your head's about to explode from whatever conflict is in the air or whatever's been exposed. If on a personal level, there's really nothing like this in your life going on, well, how could that play out for you? Well, if you have like pressure headaches, sinus problems, something's going on with your head, could there be a side of you, a side of yourself, a situation you're trying to come to terms with, trying to tell yourself the truth about something or someone, or if you're suppressing some aspect to yourself, you know, if you're not being honest with yourself, then you can get a buildup in your head as well. You know, I've had to work on this one myself, particularly over the last couple of years. I never had this in my life, but I was getting weird headaches and my neck would just like seize on me, and I was getting weird headaches and eye problems because of it. And it disappeared. I calmed my nervous system down. I made a lot of decisions, a lot of boundaries, and cleaned up my life. But then something came along a few days ago, a week ago, and triggered it. And it just seized all over again, the same flood of symptoms. And I had to really sit with it. And so there's nothing threatening me. There's no personal situations. So this was an internal example where I had to sit and sit with that energy and go, what the hell has built up to such an extreme in me? You know, what change do I need to make that I've been avoiding or suppressing because the physical has become so uncomfortable, you know? And I managed to have a breakthrough with that. So that could be a way that it plays out in the personal realm for us all in some way. You know, for some people, yeah, it's going to be this need to fact check and find the hidden details and bring out truths and expose things and people for what they are and reveal. And, you know, there's like a scandal kind of energy to it. So who knows what scandals we're going to see breaking out, because there's plenty going on. And I don't even want to break down the whole thing going on in all over different countries because there's too much. So just suffice to say, will we see stuff being revealed, more scandals, more crazy details coming into play, more retaliation? Yes. Yes. So it should be interesting to stay tuned. Let's take a look at some of the other planets. So this same aspect with Pluto and the moon that we're talking about. Enormous emotional tension here. Enormous emotional tension can lead to all kinds of stuff. Temper tantrums, violence, pressure, also breakthrough, watershed, crying for no reason, needing to scream for no reason, just build up and blow. You know, release can be release and freeing yourself. And it's also squaring off with a couple of these Aries planets. It's squaring the sun in Taurus, and it's squaring Venus. No, not Venus, sorry. It is squaring Mercury in the North Node. So yeah, Pluto square Mercury. Oh, Lord. We got to be careful with our words over the next little while with this full moon. Could be lots of competitive, defensive, one-upping crap going on with people. You know, Mercury and Aries, they got to be right. It's like black or white. It's simple. It's simple. Can't you see it? Well, it's simple to you if your Mercury is in Aries, but it ain't simple to a Scorpio moon who sees the undercurrents and the psychology and the behavior is not matching the words, and the Mercury in Aries is like, what? It's simple. So there could be some posturing and arguments, defensiveness going on. Again, Pluto squaring Mercury could also be the head, could also be headaches. Sometimes also, like, the head is everything. It's, you know, it's your hearing. You could have ringing in your ears. You could have an earache. You could have sinuses blocked. You could have clenching your teeth. Hopefully not breaking your teeth. So you just want to really, really try to take precautions to rest and relax. Keep the body calm and smooth as much as you can. Try not to get into any unnecessary tensions and conflicts or be in the middle of other people's, for that matter. So we also have Pluto making a good aspect, though, to Jupiter Uranus, and then Jupiter Uranus is making good aspects to Saturn, Mars, and Neptune. So this is over here, the little positive areas. Now, what is working well here, Pluto's in Aquarius, Jupiter and Uranus are in Taurus. Oh boy, you know, another thing about Jupiter Uranus is you have Jupiter expanding everything, exaggerating, expanding, bringing good luck, or really exacerbating something that's there already. Uranus is like this little mischievous tippy-toeing and then zoom, lightning bolt or surprise, you know, kind of what? Kind of energy. Very erratic and exciting and innovative and unpredictable. And Jupiter is exaggerating that. So Jupiter could calm down the erratic thing with Uranus a bit, or it could make it 10 times bigger. So, but the thing is, it's in the Earth sign. So it's probably going to play out slow and deep and maybe physical. Maybe your body again. So again, you might be feeling like a lot of energy, like whoa, restless, gotta run, gotta go, gotta run, gotta be productive, do. And then, oh, I don't want to do anything. I just want to eat and sleep. I don't want to move. I don't want to get out of bed because it's erratic energy, right? It's like a boost of productive, and then it's like, then it's got that other side of Taurus. I just want to sit here. I just want to be comfortable. I don't want to do anything. So you could see some extremes that way. And trine Pluto, well, that's nice. Like, you might be able to use some of those high productive energy to really get a lot done when if you're in the zone and you're like, I'm going to tackle this. Okay, good, do it. You might get a lot done. You might finally, I don't know, sit down and finish your taxes because you've just got this zoom inside, you know? And conversely, if it's Pluto and it's like well, you know, you really, really might not want to move. You might You might be just like, I don't want to, almost like a kid, resistant and feeling a bit tantrumy and I don't want to. So you're just going to see these highs and lows and this unpredictable roller coastering, jagged energy of physically your momentum, your will. But, it can be productive with Pluto there. Now, Jupiter Uranus is falling in the house of the 7th house. My goodness, like marriage, partnership, open enemies, business partners too. Could there be sudden ups and downs in your finances with your friend, with your spouse, with your business partner, with someone you owe money? Could there be some windfall, some luck between you or for one of you? Yeah. Could there be lots of talks about loyalty and, your commitments to each other and your sense of routines together and whether you're like long-term thing or not? For sure. You're wondering, whoever your closest partners are, whoever that is right now, whoever you consider close, you're wondering, is this stable? Is this like, should I really be fully loyal, all in with this person or this group or this? Should I really be like detaching and making myself a little more free and independent here and keep looking? So if it's a couple, if you've been established, well, and you're secure, then it's not going to be that. You might be thinking, well, one of you needs space, maybe both of you need some space or some other interests, or to include, more socializing within your marriage to make it happier right now. Other people, if your commitments are shaky, you're just going to be questioning. And you might, again, like that energy so jagged, one day you might be like, oh, I just love this group I'm in. Like, I just love my partner, or I love this group that I've committed to. And the next day you're like, I don't know, I trust these people. I don't know if I can stay with this person. Maybe there's better. Maybe I should break free. It's Uranus. Maybe I should break free. So again, that's going to be like a moody up and down kind of thing. And both of those, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, they're both making nice little sextiles here to Saturn, Mars, and Neptune. So Saturn can, sextile Jupiter, Uranus is sort of nice. It sort of helps your err on the side of, well, let's stick it out with whoever I'm doubtful about, whoever I'm up and down a bit with. Let's have some compassion. Let's be a bit more patient. Let's give it a more space. Let's stick with it for a little while longer. It gives it some foundation. And it's in the 4th house, so that's all about family and roots. So, you might just be going through a rough patch versus I should split, because otherwise it's sort of nice for the rooting. And then you've got Mars and Neptune together in Pisces, which is not easy. There can be a lot of idealizing. There can be enormous compassion. There can be a lot of romanticizing and idealizing, though, because it's in the 5th house. So it's like, these people are so good. They're so great. They're so perfect for me. And then you're like, they did what? Are you sure they're really that great? Are you putting them on a pedestal? Are you putting them above you? Because maybe they're not as great as you think. Mars Neptune can make you paranoid, can make you very excited and romantic and passionate, or it can make you really like almost delusional. So that's a little tougher in the 5th house. If any of you, if the unstable up and down relationships are related to, newer partners or romance, well, you might want to be a little careful. Just make sure you're not idealizing. But with Saturn, you know, and Pluto and that, there's something that says to me, stick it out a little longer. Just give it a shot a little longer before you call it a day. So it's an interesting time here. There seems to be an awful lot going on that would tell me there's like physical and emotional stress and tension. And that's the way that some of these deeper truths are playing out. And some stuff's coming to the surface. Pluto square the moon. A lot of emotions are coming up from under the surface, like a big earthquake. And you have to see where the earthquake's coming from. And you know, like I said, you might not want to call things out just yet, unless you are really sure. And if you're in any kind of situation where you've been studying something, waiting to make your move, and you know, like you've got enough evidence, quote unquote, it's the time. Expose, expose, expose. Plant the seeds, tell the thing. But if it's something you don't want to get out, and the gossip unleashes, and there could be lots of backlash, yeah. But at the same time, like we said, the moon in Scorpio on the ascendant is like, oh my God, I'm naked in front of everybody. Whatever comes up, whatever's unearthed that makes you feel raw, vulnerable, exposed to the world, the best way to handle that is to come clean and be honest about it and stop hiding whatever you're hiding. Let's see what happens. All right, let's take a look at the tarot. And yes, you're hearing my cat in the background. She's protesting. Howling at the moon, maybe? I don't know. No, we can't see the moon out the window, so. All right, let's do some tarot for this moon. And I'm just going to stick with 3-card reading again. I think 9 gets a bit too much sometimes. All right, what does our tarot want to say to add to this full moon energy? All right, so our first card is the King of Swords. And yes, I've gone back to the Thoth deck. And why? Because it's the one that speaks to me the most. It's the one I know best. It speaks to me the most. So, King of Swords, you know, this is a guy who's very air sign, usually. Could be a bit older. Usually quite intelligent, maybe techie, or, you know, very analytical. He can be very smart, but very impatient. He might not have the greatest emotional intelligence. So if you're dealing with him in a Scorpio moon, don't expect him to get too deep or be aware of himself. He'll debate you, or he'll go around you, but he won't very likely be like, oh, right, I'm exposed. Actually, that's true. I admit it. I doubt it. I doubt it. Huh. 7 of Swords. Futility. Well, here, you know, you've got a central sword, and you've got this symbol around the bottom, if you can see. There, can you see it better? Which is basically sort of a snake. It's a symbol for a snake, and it's wrapped around the hilt. Now, you've got all different planets that are at the hilt of each of these swords, converging on the one with the snake as the hilt. There's a lot of thoughts and changes that are going to require you to sort of make a decision and walk away or let go. The futility card is usually the time when we move on and walk away and just, it's literally, it's like, I'm done. There's nothing more to do. There's nothing more to say. And we walk away. So yeah, it might be walking away from someone like that, someone like the King of Swords. Futility, you might be like, this, don't even argue, it's not even worth it. Um, you might, you know, things might come to light about people's motivations, this King of Swords, perhaps, and you might say, this isn't worth working here anymore, or this isn't working, this isn't a fit. Because futility is pretty clear word, it's why bother, why try anymore? Now, does that mean you're giving up too soon? We'll see. Sometimes we are, but there's going to be a strong desire to just go, I'm sick of this, I'm done. And it might not be walking away from a whole job or relationship. It could be, I'm just done with the way we do things here. You might be with your partner, I'm just done with having these arguments about the dishes. I'm sick of arguing about the chores. We need a system. We need to agree to something. I'm tired of debating it all the time. That's the futility card too. Like, I've had enough. I'm not doing it. It might just be an aspect, that needs to be worked on. And then we've got the Princess of Cups here. So very sensitive and vulnerable and dreamy and romantic and, connected to her intuition and her sensitivity and her mysticism and her animals, and very different, completely opposite actually to the King of Swords. So you have sort of like the high functioning, super controlled, intellectual, cold, emotionally kind of man. And then you've got this sort of fairy like artsy sort of young woman. And they're trying to make it work. And the futility card is in between them. And is it futile? Can she handle or step up to match his energy? Be very hard. If he requires that of her and won't meet her halfway, she'll always feel criticized and abused and never good enough. Can he soften himself and be vulnerable to that degree of the Princess of Cups? He'd have to unravel so many defenses and go back to his childhood. It's a very difficult situation. So that's an interesting, more in-depth and detailed kind of way that it could play out for some of you. And that dynamic could be within a couple, but it could also be even just in your own healing, understanding, your parents versus your child self in part of your healing journey. Understanding people's true natures and their true capacities. Knowing when it's time to, walk away or stop trying to change other people is a huge thing. Huge thing. All right, let's take a look at the signs. Let's see if anything, what do you need to reveal? Let's say, what does this Scorpio moon want you to see and reveal to others or to yourself? Yes. Scorpio moon, what secrets, what things need to be revealed? Aries. You have the Five of Cups. The things that need to be revealed for you are, you need to be honest about where you've been disappointed or emotionally disappointed. Yeah, it's a tough one. You know, Aries doesn't like to admit that. It'll feel like a defeat to them to be talking about their emotions and admitting that something really hurts them, or that something from the past is still hurting you, because you're very focused on the present and the future and not dwelling on the past. But it looks like you need to really acknowledge that something really hurt you in order for you to move forward in your life. That's a release. Taurus, what do you need to reveal? The Empress. Hmm. Well, it's like a mothering card. It's a creativity card. It's it's a goddess, abundance, queen. What do you need to reveal? I suppose you just show your loving side, your nurturing side more than you usually do. A lot of Taurus does anyway. But it might be to sort of embrace that side of you even more, because a lot of you already play that role, like of a good parent, a good mother, a good father to other people or to animals or kids near you. Yeah, it's sort of funny to call that like a reveal or a secret. Are you trying to look a little tougher or more practical or down to earth? Because you don't have to. You can show people that you're more sensitive and loving and soft. It's okay. Interesting reading there. Gemini, what do you need to reveal? Hmm. 10 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles, excuse me. Wealth. That's a funny one. Are there any well, that would sort of mean like revealing money, revealing wealth, hidden money, hidden investments? Ooh, I just realized, yes, Mr. Trump is a Gemini. Ah, hidden money. Well, gee, isn't that what the whole trial's about? But Gemini in general, you could be unearthing secrets about other people's money, investors, or yeah, but that's sort of funny. That wouldn't apply to everybody. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. There's something about money. Well, that card can be inheritances, loans. It can represent grants, welfare, um, tax bonuses, money you get in a lump sum. Is there anything hidden? Maybe you will research and find that you have money owed to you that you didn't realize that could come to you. Hopefully you're not the one hiding it, but interesting. Something about your relationship to money coming up there. Cancers, what do you need to reveal? Peace. Moon in Libra. Well, looks to me like you need to make a peace or make a truce with somebody, make amends with somebody. Got the moon in Libra here on the card. The need for peace, the need for fairness. Now, why would that be a big reveal? Well, if we want to have peace or amends with somebody, we have to be honest with that person or with ourselves about what happened and why and our part in it. And we have to be ready to, lay down the swords and find some common ground. Moon in Libra wants to talk it out, wants things to be fair. Why would that be a reveal? Because maybe Cancer, you feel vulnerable to admit that you did something too. Maybe you're scared that if you bring up something to have a peace talk that you'll be drawn into something again or re-victimized or something. There's some fear there emotionally that if you go towards having more of this peace with somebody, that you'll be vulnerable and it won't work or something. But this is beautiful, really. That's really beautiful. If there is anybody in your life that you do feel strong enough to make amends and say, hey, I just wanted to say, I think we should talk things through. I miss you. I'm sorry about whatever it is. If you got it in you with somebody, I would do it. Oh, what a chunky question this was to ask. Okay, Leos, what do you need to reveal? Ten of Swords. Well, the Ruin card, you're very proud, so you'd hate to admit when something has absolutely depressed you, destroyed you in your life, or when you are utterly done. Because usually, Leo, you have the energy and you have the positivity and you want to, no, we're going to keep going. You've got that leadership or that strong spirit that's like, no, we're going to keep doing this no matter how hard it is. Maybe there's something that you just can't. Maybe the thing you've got to admit or reveal is that you are with someone or some aspect of your life or a role that you play or things that you keep, something is broken. You can't do it anymore. And that is a reveal because you feel, again, proud and vulnerable, like we said, naked on the balcony. But it looks to me if you're feeling broken with any aspect of your life, the Ten of Swords is like that's the max. You can't you can't hold on any longer with the Ten of Swords. It's done. You've got to admit it so that you can rest or change course or get some help with it. It's hard. It's hard on the pride. Doesn't mean you're not strong. Not at all. All right, Virgos, what do you need to reveal? The Hangman. Well, that one's pretty clear to me. You've got to reveal and let go of a sacrifice that you have been making. It feels like it's time to get off the wheel here, like to let yourself come out of this sacrificial place. Can you honestly say that you have learned as much as you can learn by always being of service and putting yourself aside? Are there deeper levels that you can go to that are productive if you keep doing what you're doing? Or can you admit, like, if you're in a rut and it's time to, like, let yourself move to the next level, transcend to the next level, be happier, be lighter. You can still serve and help and do all the things you love to do, but not from a place of feeling burdened and restricted. You can do it because you actually feel light and happier, and you have lots to give, versus dragged into something yet again. And it's heavy. Okay, but I can do this just one more time because they need me. No, no. So there's something you need to reveal either to people you're doing this with, or again, it feels like more to yourself, that you need to be like, you know what, do I have to keep feeling like I'm feeling? No, no, I don't actually. Have I learned everything I came to learn in this particular scenario? Can I let myself off the hook to go to the next level? Well, yeah. And then there's going to be reveals, because you're going to, announce things or make decisions or rearrange, say, by the way, I'm not doing this anymore. By the way, I've changed my mind. So there'll be reveals that way, but the first one is to yourself. Libras, what do you need to reveal? King of Swords. Well, this feels more like, the King of Swords is someone in your life. So remember we said, intelligent and clever and impatient and very, very smart, always maybe anxious or always rushed. Not a lot of emotional intelligence. Think of who that is in your life. You may need to have a big discussion with this person and reveal how you're genuinely feeling to make this relationship better, or to maybe give this person some insight that would help them. But it also could be, if you're with someone like this, maybe you're protecting this person and you're not saying stuff about the realities of the relationship. Maybe you need some support. Maybe you feel tired of, like, covering and saying how great this guy is because he thinks he is, when a lot of things aren't so great. Could be something like that. Otherwise, it's you being honest with yourself about this person and their limitations, their true capacity. Scorpios, this is your moon. So this is your moon that's feeling so vulnerable. What do you need to reveal right now? Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. So interesting. First feeling I get for this is that you have a sense of where you're at on the wheel. You have an innate sense of whether your life is going up or whether things are starting to decline on the wheel. And the big reveal is you've got to be honest with yourself. Where on the wheel am I? Take charge of it. We always want to think, oh, I'm going up. It's getting better. I'm going up. Sometimes we know, and this is a hard thing to say to yourself or to others. Sometimes we know, no, things are not going to be good for a while. You know that they're going to be a little lower. You're going to be lower energy, or things are going to slow down, or business isn't going to be as busy for you, or relationship is not as satisfying as it was, or because, the wheel is It's just the change of life, and we all go through it. And there's high periods and low periods for everybody's life. It's not always up, 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 up. So where in others of you, some of you know, and I'm talking about deeply know in your heart, not like motivational thinking. No, your body deeply knows. I can sense that my life is taking a turn, and it needs to slow down a bit. And I'm going to need to let go and make some room in my life. And it's not a big, shiny, sexy period. And others of you deeply know that you are starting to come out of a dark spell, of a tired, of a whatever, unrecognized, whatever is bothering you, lack of intimacy that you want, whatever it is. Some of you also know, like, no, things are turning for me for the better. So it's really like for you to be clear with yourself, be honest with yourself where you are on that wheel in the big picture. You don't have to tell anyone. Just you have to be honest with yourself. Because, it's just like the seasons. If we fight against the seasons, what good does that do us? We know winter's coming. You can't avoid it. What are you going to do? Scream the whole time, complain? People do, but it doesn't do any good. So if you consider winter every year a down cycle, you can go, oh no, I don't want to see it. I don't want winter. And then you're going to make it worse. Or you can go, winter's coming. I accept it. It comes every year. This winter, this is what I'm going to use my energy for. And so whether you're on an up or a down, you can make peace with it and make better decisions with it. All right, Sagittarius, what do you need to reveal? Another money one. Gain. Money. This is with like Gemini and Sag with money ones. So interesting. Revealing and gains. First thing comes to mind, of course, is like, be honest on your taxes. Be honest on your, on any financial documents. Check everybody's background. Make sure you're getting paid properly. Make sure nobody's duping you. But that's not really a reveal for you. So, Feeling I get is getting clear on your material values and what you want on a material level, financial material level. Like everybody can say, oh, they want, they want to have a high income, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're getting clear that there's certain needs you have or certain lifestyle that you want, and it doesn't have to be some celebrity lifestyles of the rich and famous here. What would represent true like wealth or prosperity to you that you could be happy with without it being like extra all the time? Maybe that's it. Maybe the reveal is really getting clear on your material financial values and goals to yourself. Capricorns, what do you need to reveal? King of Discs or Pentacles. Another stability and financial related one. It is a Capricorn card. Fertility, land, protecting, lineage. Well, if some of you Capricorns are wandering around very cynical and you won't admit that this is what you would like, then you might be sort of lying to yourself, because most Capricorns that I know, when they're happy, are in a position where they're secure in their finances, their friends, their romance, their families, their providers. And be honest that you want to have this level of security or legacy. And if you don't have it, then you might feel overwhelmed to say, that's what I really want, but I'm really far away from it. So how do I get that? How do I get there? And it's not all about money. It's also a sense of, it's like family or relationship, feeling secure. It's feeling like you're in the right place. Your feet are on the right land, and wherever you're rooted, you're in the right place, and you're planting there, and it's fertile. It's worth being where you are, doing what you're doing, being with who you're with. So yeah, you have to really take stock and be honest with yourself if you're standing in the right place with the right person, if you're in the right career to give you this sense of security that you want. These are so earthy, these messages this time. This whole reading is so earthy. Okay, Aquarius, what do you need to reveal? Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Two of Wands. Well, you look, it seems like you're angry at something. You are tired of yeah. There's an ongoing or sort of underlying conflict going on with somebody. Could be within yourself too, two sides of yourself that are always friction, at war with each other, struggling for which one's going to dominate. Otherwise, you might be doing that in your marriage. You might be doing that with a sibling. You might be doing that with your coworkers. But there's like battle of egos here for who's in charge. So if you reveal that, well, like we said, with the Scorpio moon, feeling naked, standing on the balcony, exposed to everybody, you have that same moment. You could get drawn into a conflict around the full moon with whoever is challenging you, or and it all depends how you handle it at that moment, whether you sort of nip it in the bud and you call it out, and you work out whatever ego things are going on, or you assert your dominance. Otherwise, somebody's going to challenge you, and it could just escalate. So you can't really avoid being clear about that situation. Otherwise, the battle just escalates. So it's all how you handle that. Mm. Might want to talk to somebody neutral about it. All right. So, Pisces, what do you need to reveal? Another money card. Success. Moon and Taurus card. Thing is, with this card, I always get a feeling of healing, because there's this rose and cross in the middle of a glowing circle, and everything's circular and protected, and you can almost feel that these six circles are sitting around a campfire. Pardon me, around a campfire almost, and then there's these radiating star formations and circles. It's like it's very protected. It's very like inner, and then this light inside, and then this healing. So for you, I'd say the big reveal is there's something that you need to heal. And it could be physical healing. It could be emotional healing, or it could be financial healing when it comes to the moon in Taurus. But you're, you know, moon in Taurus needs to feel very, very, very secure. Otherwise, it worry. So, who's your inner circle? Do you feel secure and valued by the people around you, by your work? There's some healing to do on that level. And so the reveal, again, is, in this case, feels more like to yourself than related to other people. Unless the reveal is that you need to talk to somebody about some things building up inside you that do need healing, and to pick somebody that you feel very safe with to do so. Boy, these were deep this time, but of course it's Moon in Scorpio. What do we expect? So once again, if you would like a reading, all my links are below in the video. I would love it if you would come to the Intuition Cafe, the online on Facebook, or in person at the event. April 26th is the next one. 6 to 8 at Indigo Chapters, Point Claire in the West Island of Montreal. So would really love that. Otherwise, if you would like a session and a deeper dive into your own astrology, I hope you'll give me a ring. Have a very introspective and revealing, honest full moon.